weak, predictable, harmless. If you want a mind that commands silence when you enter a room, you must build it from something else: discipline, detachment, darkness. The greatest weakness in a man is the inability to control his own emotions. If passion rules you, someone else holds your leash. On battlefields, in negotiations, in every circle of power, the fool is the one who reacts. Rage, jealousy, pride, they are not strength, they are confessions. Confessions of fear, confessions of weakness. A powerful mind begins with silence, not ignorance, calculation. When insulted, most men bark. They show their vanity, they expose their wounds. The dangerous man does not. He absorbs the insult, he studies it, he turns it into data. No one controls the temperature of his blood. That is the first sign of dominance. Emotional reactions are predictable, and what is predictable, can be controlled. When you rage, you are being steered. When you cry, you give away power. When you reveal desire too soon, you lose leverage. One slip can ruin months of quiet work. The world does not reward emotional honesty. It exploits it. Train your anger to burn cold, your sadness to sharpen thought, even your joy, to stay measured. Because once emotion floods the mind, you lose the position of advantage. Those who master emotion rule. They wait for the twitch of the lip, the clenched jaw, the rising breath, and when they see it, they strike, not with noise, but with influence, with decisions, with silence. Most people think emotions are strength. History says otherwise. The generals who won wars, the rulers who built empires, they did not scream when betrayed. They did not crumble when tested. They stayed still, they learned, and they returned fire, with precision, in the game of power. Emotional men are the clay, calm men are the sculptors. So begin with restraint. When your heart pounds, breathe slower. When your mind screams, quiet it. When your ego wants revenge, starve it. Delay your reactions until they become decisions. Nothing is more intimidating than someone who meets aggression with calm. People don't fear rage, they understand it. They fear what they cannot read. This is not weakness, it is preparation. A man who controls his anger does not avoid war. He chooses the hour. He decides the field. He sets the price. And when vengeance comes, it is deliberate, irreversible, without remorse. To build this mind, you must feed it with bitter truths. While most people fill their heads with comfort, you must seek what others avoid. Painful history, the mechanics of manipulation, the patterns of collapse. Read not for entertainment, but for understanding. Study kings, tyrants, betrayers, not for their glory, but for their cruelty, every betrayal, every silent poisoning, every dagger behind a smile. These are not stories, they are manuals. The mind that terrifies is forged in silence, and sharpened in truth. Be that mind, and you will not be moved by the tides. You will move them. Most people don't want the truth. They want the feeling of safety, even if it's a lie. Body. Once you see this, the world changes. You stop chasing their approval. You stop needing their applause. Study how people think. Study how they're influenced. Study why they follow, and why they obey. You'll learn that emotion rules reason. That fear shapes most choices. That status and scarcity control behavior. This knowledge is power. Not for manipulation, but for protection. When you see the game, you can't be played. When you see the trap, you can't be caught. But there's a cost. The more you see, the less you relate. You'll notice how most people cling to the crowd, how they follow the loudest voice, how they punish anyone who dares to think alone. Don't fight it. Don't try to wake them. Let them stay asleep. Your mind must be built in solitude. Not for show, not for praise, but for strength. Isolation is not loneliness. It is training. It is sharpening. While they seek attention, you build clarity. While they chase comfort, you build resilience. And when the time comes, you won't need recognition. Your presence will speak for you. Closing, detach from their approval, detach from their noise. A mind that is free is a mind they cannot control. When you speak from your own mind, your voice becomes sharp, unpredictable, untamed, and that's what unsettles people most, not because you're dangerous, but because you remind them how tamed they've become. Approval is a prison. It looks like a reward, but it chains you to their expectations. The day you walk away from it, you see how influence works. You stop fearing rejection. You stop changing yourself to please fragile minds. In that silence, where you answer to no one but yourself, the terrifying mind is born. It's not just smart, it's strategic. It doesn't just watch, it calculates. It doesn't react, it moves. Power doesn't always need force. Sometimes, it's just the illusion of force. Real control happens in the unseen, where thoughts are planted, where doubts are grown, where fear is built. Without lifting a hand, most people hide their weaknesses under ego. But the terrifying mind sees through it, and when needed, it knows exactly where to press. One word, one silence, one look, and the ground under them shakes. Control is never loud, it's quiet, precise. The masses mistake noise for power, but real power whispers, and still gets obeyed. You don't explain. You don't justify. You speak as if you already know, and that alone makes people follow. Even silence can be a weapon. Absence can create more fear than presence. A pause can speak louder than a speech. People fear what they can't predict, so your unpredictability becomes your armor. You don't force a narrative, you redirect it. You make others think they lead, while you quietly steer. Deception isn't always a lie. Sometimes it's a shield. Let them see what you want them to see. Keep your real hand in the shadows. Know what drives people: vanity, fear, status, exclusion. Press the right button at the right time, and you'll never need to raise your voice. Your presence alone should unsettle. Not from aggression, but from stillness. Your stillness shows the chaos inside them. Guard your reputation, not with noise, but with precision. Never overexpose. Mystery is leverage. When people know too much, they relax. When they know too little, they stay alert. And that alertness is just fear in disguise. Psychological warfare is not cruelty, it's command. You don't destroy for fun, you shape the environment. And you win before the fight even begins. A terrifying mind is built with clarity, discipline, and the courage to reject illusions. While others want applause and comfort, you choose truth and silence. Think alone, move with intent, strike with precision. To build a mind that terrifies, you must see what others hide, walk where they avoid, and stand where they crumble. Not feared for your rage, but for your calm. Not for your noise, but for your presence.